Hi, greetings. I wanted to do a weight loss update video. I know it's been a little bit since I've done one, but things are still moving along. My current uh, amount that I'm down is 40 pounds. My current weight is 295, which means just this week I actually crossed below the threes. That was a very, very big goal for me. And it felt really, really good to finally get out of the threes. Hopefully, I will never see them again. Currently 295 even, and as a whole, I still have about 170 pounds to go. That is still a very, very long way, but as my husband points out to me often, I've come a long way too. Um, some huge news since the last video. I had gone to the doctor for, the standard, diabetes checkup and hypothyroid checkup and all that, see how my thyroid's working out. Um, but I also wanted to see if liver enzymes had come back down from previous tests where they had been elevated. And the liver function looks great. The Synthroid has my TSH doing very good. I think it was in the threes, which is better than it's been in quite some time. Um, My thyroid's just a little bit enlarged, but they did an ultrasound on that. That came out okay, but no particular vital reason seen other than it's probably just trying to catch more iodine or something like that. But as a whole, it's fine. And I told him that I had stopped my metformin because it really, really hurting my stomach. And at first he kind of cringed at that, and he's like, well, maybe I should just reduce the dose or something like that. And he said, well, we'll wait and see how the blood work comes out. A couple days later, I get the call. My blood work showed my A1C was like 5.3 or 5.4. It was really, really, really good. Definitely not showing diabetic. Um, my fasting blood sugars haven't really been showing diabetic. They've been barely pre-diabetic, just barely. Um, so as a whole, he pretty much said, the exact words were, you absolutely no longer need metformin at all, which was really, really cool because that essentially means my diabetes is in remission, which is so sweet. And honestly, that's just so much better than even the victory on the scale of getting below three. That just thrills me to no end because my health is what I want to correct more than anything. So, huge goal. Um, Huge goals met. The A couple other little smaller things, but they still meant a lot. Is one day when I was on my walk with my youngins, we were over at the park, and Daniel was up running ahead of me, and I decided to try running. And I haven't done that in years. I haven't been able to do it, and it was hard and it wasn't pretty, but I was able to run a little bit. It was just a few seconds, bursts of running, but I'm able to do that now. I still have to be really, really careful because any kind of jumping or something like that is just almost impossible. My joints feel like they're going to explode, so I don't want to push it because I don't want to get injured. But in the same turn, just to be able to run for a few seconds just felt exhilarating that day. It was just the coolest thing, and I hope to get to the point that I will be able to run to lose weight. That's just to me an awesome goal. I know people have mentioned like the whole couch to 5K. I think that's really, really cool and a great idea. It's still a little bit out of my league right now. Even week one, I looked at it, but it won't be out of my league for forever, not the way things are going. So, very excited about those things. And I've noticed another little non-scale victory, as they call it. I've been able to cross my legs quite a bit. It depends on the chair I'm in. Like if it's a hard kitchen chair, I can't really do it comfortably. But sitting here in this recliner, I can totally cross my legs easily. And I find I'm sitting that way all the time now because it's been so many years and I haven't been able to do it at all. I find I'll stick my foot up in the chair and have my knee up to my chest. That was just completely impossible. I could hardly lift my feet off the ground there for a while. So, huge, huge victories for me. Just feeling so much better. And I just can't tell you how much of a blessing that is. And speaking of blessing, I know a lot of these victories are coming from God because while I've lost 40 pounds, the diabetes went into remission when I was like 34 pounds down. But still, as a whole, considering I need to lose 210 total, that's a small percentage of the weight loss that I need to have. And to have my diabetes go into remission that fast, to me, was really amazing. Um, it told me that sometimes you may not have to lose as much as what you think to get your diseases in your body to be a lot healthier and to do better. But I also think God just plain helped that along too. Um, I just feel very, very blessed that that's already happened. I asked the doctor if the hypothyroid would, eventually do that too with weight loss, and he said probably not. He said usually that's a lifelong, you're stuck with it kind of the rest of your life thing. So we will see. You never know. I have started doing things very, very different. Like, I've been buying things that I absolutely hate eating, like seaweed, or nori, what I grabbed the other day. It's got lots and lots of iodine and iron and things like that in it that I particularly need for the thyroid. And it's really, really good for me. And I haven't like ate it every day, but I've ate it probably 3 times this week. And I know that that will help. I don't like it, but I'm trying. And I have been trying a lot of different things to, you know, as they say, how is it? Eat to live, don't live to eat. Because I certainly lived to eat before. And I can still fall into that so easily if I'm not very careful and very diligent. But I'm trying to think of nutrition and think of the things my body needs that I know I'm deficient on and trying to incorporate those things better. A lot of times my joints hurt so much and I have swelling in my joints a lot. So everybody screams fish oil. And while I've supplemented that by pill, I'm also trying to eat more, of the oily fish things. And honestly, I've always hated seafood and fishes and such, except for canned tuna and once in a while salmon patties. But as a whole, me and my husband, we are just not seafood, fish people at all. And to try to eat that so much more is a challenge to me. But I will say, like the other day, I baked some, tilapia. But I found out that's not really an oily fish, but still, it's a step for me. I baked it and put some taco seasoning on it. Tacos are my favorite food. But it actually turned out pretty good and I liked it. So go figure. But I am trying some new things. I've got plain yogurt. Never bought that before. Yogurt is one of those foods that I used to hate and would not touch. And eventually I forced myself to eat it. And eventually I started to like it. But because I won't use artificial sweeteners, um, I don't like the whole Franken sugar thing. Um, the aspartame, I think, is pretty much pure evil. It gives me migraines. I don't like that. But that kind of left me with, the really high calorie, really loaded with sugar, yogurts. So somebody gave me the idea on the site that I've been logging my calories on MyFitnessPal, and they said that what they do is they buy the plain yogurt and then mix in some honey. And I thought, well, that's a really good idea. I hadn't, for whatever reason, just hadn't thought of it. So I bought some plain yogurt and mixed in raw honey. I like raw because it helps the allergies. And it was really, really good. And what I did the next day is I added like a little bit of vanilla to it, even better. And I didn't use quite so much of the honey, but I used a little bit of like a stevia packet. Don't mind the idea of using stevia packet, but I'm trying to learn to like it. I'm not in love with it yet, but because of the bitter aftertaste I kind of get with it. But in some things like that, I don't really notice it at all, and it worked great in the yogurt. So kind of a blend of that and the honey and the vanilla, and it's absolutely a delicious and really low-calorie breakfast. So just little things like that that I'm trying. I'm trying so hard to change my mentality about food, and I know that's going to be a daily battle for the rest of my life of dying to my flesh. I know that for the rest of my life I'm going to have to log what I eat because I have had a problem with gluttony and I still will scream that I think it's so important that if you have that problem, You have to admit it because you cannot repent of what you just will not acknowledge. And it's one of those things you probably really have to constantly be dying to that. It's an addiction like so many other things, and you have to view it that way and treat it that way, and you have to overcome it. You gotta get past this, and that's what I'm trying to do. I am not perfect. I still sometimes I find myself thinking, oh, what can I snack on? Or oh, I want something really cheesy and melted cheese and sour cream and meat and those, you know, weakness foods for me. But I'm trying really hard to let myself have the things that I like, but obviously calorie controlled. There's only a few things that I'm just like banning totally for me, one of which is soda. I don't drink it anymore, and I really don't want to go back to it. Even though there's plenty of days where I have the calorie room, I just don't want to do that. Um, Predominantly because even though I have the calories, I'm trying to keep carbs low at the same time, doing both. Both seem to be important for my body. But furthermore, I see no good in it. I see no nutritional value. It's just the can of chemicals, and it's just bad, bad, bad for you. I refuse to use the diets. Again, I don't like the Franken sugar stuff. Um, but as a whole, soda is one of the foods I am totally eliminating. Obviously, other people don't have to do this. Just a choice that I'm making. My husband is trying to slow down on sodas and things like that. Soda is a big weakness for him. It's something he really struggles with. But he is trying really, really hard too and working so hard at the weight loss. He's losing weight and he's not lost as much as I have, and I think that bothers him some. Because he's a man and usually men lose faster. But he's working hard and he's trying hard too, so be sure and pray for him too. He's logging his food on MyFitnessPal too, and he's just doing so good. I'm so proud of him. But I think that's all for my update for right now. Eventually on videos, I'll probably start showing maybe some pictures because I am trying to take like a picture once a month. But because of my beliefs and the way that I wear the modest loose dresses, in some ways you're not really going to see a lot anyway. But over time, I think with the big losses and stuff, I think it'll start to show up. Right now, you just really can't tell that much. Um, I do have a few dresses that I was getting a little bit too snug to wear that I can wear now. So I'm excited about that. Um, Eventually, I'm going to have to make some new ones because a few of them are just plain way too loose. The one I have on right now is, surprisingly loose at the sides. I don't know if you can see, but I can get huge handfuls of fabric here that before, I didn't have nowhere near that much ease worked into the dresses, but they've always been loose, but not this loose. So that's a cool feeling too. But eventually it'll show up, I'm sure, and I will post, before and after pics or, progress pics as I go along. But for right now, I don't think you can see much, so I'm not doing it yet. But regardless, sorry this is so long. I hope you guys have a very blessed day, and for those of you that are on similar journeys, keep at it. You can do it. Have a blessed, blessed day.